And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Cousins to throw. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up fourth down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And now it's the punter Weil on as he sends this one away. Here comes Cohen. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They can still get into field goal range, partner. They got to work quickly, though.
I agree with you totally. Find a way to get the ball downfield and out of bounds. In a perfect world, they know what hash they want to get to for their kicker, and they already know the distance that he feels comfortable. That'll dictate what they do on offense.
See if they can get in his range. So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Trubisky to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. And we have free football overtime. Here we go, my friend.
And the way this game played out, this is exactly how it should end, going to overtime, because neither one got an advantage today.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing, because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. Keeping the aggression going on defense in overtime here, a first down blitz.
You know you can get burned on it big time if they pick it up, but in this situation, they brought the blitz, put some pressure on the QB, and he wasn't able to complete a pass downfield.
They'll run with Davis. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. Coming up on a 3rd and 9. Opening drive of overtime as they look to convert. Out of the gun, Trubisky. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. A 3rd down gain of 19.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
180! Hey, watch your leg! Watch out, watch out, watch out!
First down, a run with Cohen. Oh, Cohen lost the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And a costly mistake. Coaches talk so much about ball security, and in overtime, so paramount.
Partner, do you ever wonder if maybe they talk about it too much?
Too much, yeah.
Doesn't seem like you can, but maybe by discussing it time and time again, and you know they overemphasized it here, it almost became self-fulfilling.
And any points beat them here. Field goal or a touchdown now. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to him, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Yeah, part 1 is done, now part 2.
That play was well covered, just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, we're not able to find any yardage on that one.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. Here's Matt Weil now, on for a very important punt here in overtime. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. 1 overtime, how about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they got across the 50 last time, but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
From the 29, Trubisky. Now Trubisky lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Open man is Trey Burton. And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the first at about the 21. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. So the OT clock hits 0, and we're still not done. We'll switch sides and need at least one more OT to decide it after this. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. And in double overtime, this needs to be a good one. Fielded just inside the 30. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. He was trying to find Chad Beebe that time. And now it's 2nd down.
Mike 58, right there. Come on. You better bring it.
Cousins to throw it. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
You got to remember, because now that we're in overtime, mistakes get magnified. So you got to walk that line between being aggressive and being careful, because that was a dangerous throw right there. You obviously could not have an interception in this spot.
And nearly was an interception. He's lucky to get that one back. He'll find his receiver. That's Chad Beebe. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely, pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That's their 2nd and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. So it all comes down to the foot of Dan Bailey. This to win it in overtime. And now the Bears going to signal for another timeout. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. So it all comes down to the foot of Dan Bailey. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. Now remember, this one is not over, but with the time running short here in this overtime, that could very well be the game winner.
Yeah, remember now, the other team does get a possession, but when the clock runs out, that's it. So that was a well-calculated drive to use up the majority of the clock and leave your opponent with little to no time left.
We were just treated to an absolute dandy in this one. A great finish in overtime with a long field goal. Everybody, including us, on the edge of their seats. Quite a game.
And it's rare that you get a game into overtime that it doesn't turn out to be a dandy, right? That's what we saw here. And just what you were talking about, a long field goal to win it. So definitely not a gimme. So there was tension all the way through until the ball went through the post.
But it did go through the post. Ice water was in his veins. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports.